Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to talk to you today about the powers of regret. And it's by Daniel H. Pink. And how looking backwards moves you forward. As spiritualists, we are responsible for our own happiness or unhappiness under the laws of nature and God. Some celebrities said, "I don't believe in regrets." Angelina Jolie, "I don't believe in regrets." Bob Dylan, "I don't believe in regrets." John Travolta and the transgender star Laverne Cox and headbanging Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash all said, "I don't believe in regrets." And I did, and I bet, roughly half the volumes in the self-help section of your local store, including the U.S. Library of Congress, contains more than 50 books in the collection with the title, No Regrets. Well, regrets are not dangerous or abnormal. A deviation from the steady path of happiness. It is a healthy and universal, integral part of our human being. Regret is also valuable. It clarifies, it instructs, and, done right, it needn't drag us down, it should lift us up. We shouldn't doubt sincerity of people who say they have no regrets. Instead, we should think of them as actors, playing a role so often and so deeply that they begin to believe the role is real. Let's consider a woman who was a performer, who claimed no regrets. At 17, she bore a child, and she abandoned that child to the care of another. 3 years later, that child went to spirit. Did she feel a twinge of regret about that death? She spent a portion of her adult life addicted to alcohol and morphine. Did she not regret the dependency that stifled her talents? She maintained a turbulent private life, including a disastrous marriage, a dead lover, and a second husband she saddled with enormous debts. Did she not regret at least some of her romantic choices? If difficult to picture her on her deathbed celebrating her decisions, especially when many of those decisions sent her to her deathbed decades before her time. Scotty P. endeavored, he mustered second thoughts about the words encircling around his neck, no regrets. He wouldn't be alone. About 1 in every 5 people who get tattoos that read, no regrets, eventually have them removed. And $100 million a year in this industry, in the U.S. alone, in the removal of tattoos that say, no regrets. We'd be lost without them, the essentials, the positive emotions. It is important to look on the bright side, to think cheerful thoughts, to detect light in the darkness. Optimism is associated with better physical health, emotional and joy, gratitude, and hope. They boost our own well-being. Too much negativity, of course, is debilitating. Regret matters. The American Regret Project. We surveyed the opinions and categorized the regrets of 4,489 people, representing samples of the United States population. At the same time, we launched a worldwide regret survey that more than 16,000 regrets from people in 105 countries. Most academic research on the topic has categorized regrets by the domain of people, their lives, their work, their family, their health, their relationships, their financials, and so on. Nearly all regrets fall into four categories: foundation regrets, boldness regrets, moral regrets, and connection regrets. Regret is surprisingly difficult to define. Regret is better understood less as a thing and more as a process. This process begins with two abilities, two unique capabilities of our mind, and we can visit the past and the future in our heads, and we can tell stories of something that never actually happened. Human beings are both seasoned time travelers and skilled fabulists, and the two capabilities twine together to form a helix, and a cognitive double helix that gives life to regret. It gives life to regret. One woman said, "I wish I had followed my desire to get a graduate degree in my chosen field, instead of giving in to my dad's wishes and then dropping out of that program. My life would be different." Now, and it would be more satisfying, fulfilling, and it would have given me a greater sense of accomplishment. On the other hand, as she lay in her deathbed, life about to slip away from her, battered from 47-year-old body, her final words were, "Every damn thing you do in this life, you have to do and pay for." Does that sound like a person who has no regrets? However, if life had reckoned with her regrets, if she had confronted them rather than tried to wiggle past them, she would have discovered something more important. Every damn thing you do in life can pay off for you, because, as we are about to discover, regret doesn't just make us human, it makes us better. When we cross over to spirit, it was told by John's father that we have to review the book of life. All that is thought, spoken, and written in our life must be reviewed. What regrets are we going to have when we review the book of life? There is a what if regret and an at least regret. What if is an inaction regret, and it is exactly what it sounds like. What if I had helped mom or family more? What if I had hugged a loved one more? What if is a regret with the most emotions. At least is a regret. I sent a letter, even though I received no reply. I reached out to a fellow colleague from school who was struggling with the life's terms, and then he hung himself. The action regret. The regrets are painful, and yet we did something positive, even though the results were in a negative case. We reached out. We are the intelligent animals that can look back and adjust. We are the intelligent animals that can be in the present and adjust. And we can look to the future and adjust. Don't take regrets to the grave with you. You might have to come back and do it over again. Would you regret that? Some of the things that we keep hearing in our lives, I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda. What regrets in that would make you feel better is by taking and going back to your beginnings, look them over, and then decide that was then and this is now. Not taking that internal misery that you brought forward with you from those thoughts, but to internalize them in a positive way, knowing that change is the most inevitable thing in your life. It happens on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't stop. Time doesn't stop. You used to say death and taxes were the big thing. Death is inevitable. Nobody here is going to get out alive. But we do, because we move on to a continuum and we are there. But the problem is when we're there, there's no pain, there's no suffering, there's no time. So unless we learn some of the things about ourselves in this life, whether we have learned them the hard way or we learn them through listening and understanding life as it comes, we can then move forward. But we can move forward with glee, because knowing that I'm okay today. I got up beside the grass. Everything functions. And I have no regret about that. There are things in my past that, after reading the book, stirred a few things and went back and had my own apologies to those in spirit whom I'm unable to speak to, but now that I can through mediumship and through my medicine area. So if you think you have no regrets, think again, and then learn from them, and then move on to a higher and greater plane in life. And I thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you.